So I'm Sandy. Like I said, I've talked to so many of you on the phone. I feel like I know a lot of you, but no, we should have some salespeople and warranty people on here. And we just kind of wanted to summarize what goes on each heat exchanger season. The warranty teams feels the same pain because we are in compressor mode, and then all of a sudden the furnaces start getting checked and start getting turned on, and it becomes a heat exchanger issue. And thank goodness that Carrier gives us a lot of options that we can present to the homeowners in order to change out these heat exchangers on these older units, or to change out the units itself. Oh, I forgot my first important slide, the most wonderful time of the year. So what I just kind of wanted to do is to give you a summary of the options that your customers have and the different criteria that goes with them. This isn't really to tell you how to put it into service bench, anything like that, but we're always glad to help you get that done. So, but it's more like, okay, if your customer, you go to look at a unit and it's it meets the criteria, what criteria does it match? So the first thing that we know is that there's 4 options available when we come across a secondary heat exchanger that fails. And our options are, the first one, this is the old bulletin that came out in 2009 is what this means, because that SMB 09 means that that's a 2009 bulletin. When that first came out, it might have been older than that, but that's the first one that I know. So anyway, when it came out, it started with the failure of a 1993 unit. So that's how far we've gone back, but it only covers a unit that's 20 years old. So that's one of the criteria for the SMB 090024. And the A means that the customer can change out the parts. And it also, so what that means, they can change out the secondary heat exchanger and related parts. And the related parts that it covers are the coupling box kit and the inlet and outlet panel. And it pays them $325 of labor towards a secondary heat exchanger. So you will notice nothing said anything about a primary heat exchanger because it's not covered under that bulletin. But these units that qualify, most of them came with 40 years, they call that lifetime warranty, or 20 years if it's a subsequent homeowner. Some of the units come, they came with 25 years. I don't know where that came about, but so it's 20, 25, and 40 is the standard warranty on these heat exchangers that we run across. So that one covers the parts. The second option that a homeowner has is to change out the unit itself. And that covers any qualified Payne, Bryant, or Carrier unit. And the customer would get a $525 credit. And when we say a qualified unit, they were saying any unit that's 90% efficient, blah, blah, blah. They're all that now, I believe. Are they, Brian? I know you're muted, but
yeah.
Okay. So
well, our condensing furnaces are either 92 or 95. Yes.
So it was over the 80 is what it was to be. So all of our furnaces are that way now, but I guess, years ago they weren't. So it had to be that. So all of our furnaces qualify right now, but just say a homeowner, didn't want to put a Bryant or Carrier in that you're wanting to put in for them, when their funds were low, but you wanted to get them in a unit, you can put them into a Payne, and they would get a $525 credit. Now that we want to get them into Carrier and Bryant the best we can, but the Paynes do qualify also. So the third option then that they came up with, well, the next option they came up with was a marketing program. I'm going to go ahead to the third option because it is a service bulletin also. And Carrier came out and said, okay, I think that their whole thought process was, let's get these units off this, let's get them out of there. So let's give the homeowner another option and make it a great option, and so that they can change out this unit. So they came up with, in 2019, because it's SMB 19 and it's 0022, and they have to change it out to a specific high efficiency unit. And there's a chart on that bulletin when you get it, and it says this unit has to be changed out for this one. And then if you do that, then it qualifies for a buy-in, it's called. So in this one, the dealer, you pay $800 for that unit, and as well as the homeowner does. So you have to show them on their invoice that they're paying $800 for this specific unit. But how it works is, you buy the unit, the specific unit that you're changing it out to, you file a warranty claim and you are made whole. So you pay $2,000 for that unit, you file a warranty claim on Service Bench and you get $2,000 back. And then we, Koch Air, bills you when Carrier bills us for the Carrier or Bryant units, and we bill you the $800. So that's how it turns around. It's about a month and a half turnaround time. So you turn in your claim, you get your credit back right away, but it's about a month and a half before you get billed for the $800 for that new unit. The fourth option is for the high efficiency gas trade-in allowance program. That is a marketing program. It's been around as long as I know too. And this was the one where you would get your homeowner would get a Visa card, $700, $800, or $900, depending on the efficiency unit that you changed it out to. And these are filed on carrierincentives.com or on bryantpromotions.com. This is for a specific unit for them to get this much. Now last year and the years prior, they gave them Visa cards. That stopped as of, I think, October 1st of this year. All of a sudden they told us they're not going to be doing that. You're going to be getting a rebate instead. So you have to provide your invoice that shows that you gave them a $700 rebate, $800 or $900, then you file for it on Carrier Incentives or Bryant Incentives. And that's how you get your money back for that one.
Right. It's an instant rebate, they call it.
Correct. Correct.
So you take
All
it off
of
the
these,
top and then we reimburse you.
correct. All programs have specific criteria that must be met. Now these on the bulletins, which we send out regularly, I'm going to show you them in just a minute, but it gives you the criteria that must be met on the bulletins. And I'll show you the ones that are active right now. I mean, what they look like. So on the SMB 090024A, that is for parts. It must be a model that's affected, which is on the bulletin, and the serial number must be within 20 years of installation. So like I said earlier, when that bulletin first started, the units on there, I think they started with 1992. So it would have said here, your bulletin says, well, this one, the bulletin I have right here says 2993, the 29th week of 1993 to 1808 onward with your serial. So as these years go on, the range drops off because it has to be within 20 years. So as of January 1, we're getting into the 2003 models. So within 20 years of installation, if the model does not fit into the serial range, the unit probably still has primary and secondary heat exchanger coverage. It could have, but no related parts will be covered. The only reason the coupling box kit, the inlet and outlet panels are covered is because they fall under this bulletin, SMB 090024A. You can, a commercial unit or other residential apartment, those do qualify for this. They can be changed out. The SMBO 90024B is when you decide to change that unit out, and you do not have to do a specific unit. It can be any unit. It does not have to be one of the specific one for a certain one. So if somebody chooses a different unit, as long as it's within 20 years of installation, you can change it out, and it's done on service bench as a warranty claim. And the customer would get customer and yourself would get $525 credit back on that warranty claim. You would charge them for the unit, you would charge them for labor, and you would charge them for all service materials, and then you would give them a $525 credit. Carrier puts that through as they consider that to be $325 towards the labor and $200 towards service materials. So it comes out to be a $525 credit. On the SMB 190022, it must be a model affected, and it does include some additional models. These right here are not on the original bulletin, these models right here, but they are on the SMB 190022. So when you call in and you say, what does this qualify for? That's what we're looking at, your model number to see. And then we must look at the age of it, because on this bulletin, they're within 15 years. So now we're looking at units that are a 2008 or older, newer, 2008 or after a 2008. So what they also did, what Carrier then came along and did, though, to help out on getting some of these units out of here, was they extended the date. So now any unit that's at least a 2008, it can go up to the 52nd week of 2011, and it would qualify. Whereas on this bulletin right here, the parts only go to the 18th week of 2008. If it is the 19th week of 2008, this unit does not qualify for the bulletin. Anything after that, it does not qualify for it any longer. So that's what we're looking for when you call in here. So this one is the buy-in, and it is within 15 years. And also it does qualify if it's commercial or other residential. Qualifies for the buy-in. The fourth option, which I told you is done on Carrier incentives or Bryant, or on the Bryant website too, Bryant promotions. It also is in the serial range of 20 years. And it's residential. Here's some FYIs. On the SMBO 90024, that is filed on service bench by you all with an inspection form attached to your claim. On the A, you'll receive credit for your secondary heat exchanger, related covered parts, and a $325 labor credit. On the B, it is also filed on service bench. You receive a $525 credit when you file that. SMBO 190022 is also filed on service bench. It has you must attach an inspection form to that claim. You receive your cost of the replacement, and then we bill you the $800 like I explained a while ago. The high efficiency trade-in is done on Carrier incentives or Bryant promotions. And that one is filed on there, and you do not have to attach an inspection form to it any longer. So the bulletins require inspection form. We do have them on cookair.com under the warranty tab under forms. You can find those there. We talked about the primary heat exchangers, that they are covered under, they are not covered under the bulletin. But when you pull warranty for these units, the primary heat exchanger has the same warranty that the secondary does. So these are covered, but they're covered under standard warranty instead of the bulletin. So it's a separate claim, but they are covered.
I think a good question that came up in our last
Mhm.
session this morning is, do we have to, how long do we hold on to the heat exchanger and or the furnace? And the answer is, as soon as you get your credit, you scrap it. You do not need to hold on to that. So, you know, when you come across one of these furnaces that, you know, is under the serial number range of covered, you know, 20 years, with the inspection report completed, you know, that claim is going to pass. And so, you know, as long as you attach the inspection report, if that homeowner chooses to take a new furnace and upgrade or what have you, then you've removed that old furnace with the secondary issue out of commission, and you've gotten them in a new furnace.
So this is the bulletin that went out goes out now. It does have a date of 2015 on it. We're going to try to stick a date on that. That's common. Carrier and Bryant, they review these bulletins twice a year. So if you'll see sometimes that a bulletin expires on June 30th and 12/31 of that year. That's because they review them. This bulletin here is going until these units are out of commission. So we have at least until 2028 on here. So when I've told you about, you know, what the SMBO 90024 parts and the unit change out stand for, now as you go through these bulletins and read what the guidelines are and what units are affected, it might make more sense to you as to what we tell you whenever we say this is what it qualifies for. Because this one, as you go in and read on it, it says must be within 20 years. And even though the serial range is 2993A, that's not within 20 years. So when you go down and read the bulletin and it says must be installed within 20 years, a 93 unit is not, that it has been installed longer than 20 years.
Yeah.
So as you listen to what I've said today and then read these over again, it might give you a little bit better understanding of what these mean. So this was something that they updated on here that we added. Carrier provides a bulletin to us. This came December 2019. It superseded another bulletin that was very short-lived. Carrier had put it out, and then within a couple weeks, they had this new one out. So this is the bulletin that's in effect, and the models that are, the models that are affected. And then, of course, this one adds the 52nd week of 2011 onto it. So all units can, if they fall into the units that are a part of this, as long as they are through 2011, you can change that unit out.
We sent out these bulletins to everybody on the meeting invite. If it was forwarded to you, maybe you didn't get them or what have you, but you can reach out to either your TM or KAC Warranty at kochair.com, Sandy's team, and they'll forward you these bulletins as well. You know, like I said, there's 4 different ones because there's different facets to this. Last meeting, Sandy mentioned that, you know, if you sold an upgrade, let's say, and the homeowner wants a 2-stage 96%, you know, ECM 2-stage gas valve furnace, which is on that upgrade. If we were out of that model, we had to go with an Infinity or something, then your tech support guys, or our TSA team, they would have to approve that, because that's not part of what Sandy's team would approve. It'd be like a unit exchange, but I can tell you that our furnace inventory is super healthy right now, so there shouldn't be any need to go with, if you've upgraded them to a 59 TP6, let's say, or a Bryant 926, then we're going to have it in stock. What other questions did we have last?
if we run into inventory issues, yeah, warranty, we don't have the authority to approve something. So we put it through and get that claim through for you as quick as we can, but we can't approve anything. And if you called us and asked us, can you do it? We would point you in the direction of our TSA team because they get the approval from carrier.
So, you know, Sandy has expressed that, you know, many times if you've got a tech that's out in a home and he's like, hey, I think this thing is shot, you know, can you confirm? If you just send a quick note to KAC Warranty or call that team, they'll look at it. She'll pull up the service bench entitlement page and she'll be able to tell right on there, this is not covered. The heat exchanger is under standard warranty, but it's not covered under the bulletin, or yes, it's covered under the bulletin, and then remind you what your option. I guess Sandy's got that teed up here right now, right?
Yeah, I did want to, I just kind of wanted to show you on service bench what you guys pull up to do the claim. So this is like this model serial number here is a 5108. This is a Bryant model, and it pulls up the model number when I put that serial number in. And then I want to know what it qualifies for. So I just want to know the warranty on it. So we don't know when it was installed. So I'm using the ship date down here. It cannot have been installed before that. And then I say, okay, it's residential. And I want to know what the warranty is on that. So a 340A down here, here's your original homeowner, and they have 40 years on their heat exchanger. An original homeowner does. But as you can see, they have no warranty left on their standard parts any longer. So where is that on here? Standard parts. They have no warranty left on that. That's their warranty stopped on that, but they had their heat exchanger warranty. So this unit would not qualify to change out those related parts because it's the 51st week, but it would qualify to change out their primary, their secondary, and they get labor. $325 of labor comes standard with all of the units after that 18th week of 08. So if this homeowner opted to change out the parts, they would be responsible for all the related parts. If they opted to change out the unit itself, they have several, it would qualify to change it out to any unit, which is SMB 090024B. It would qualify to change it out to SMB 190022, the specific model for that one, that's the buy-in. And it also would qualify to be changed out under the gas trade-in program because it's within 15, it's within 20, and it falls in there. But it does not cover the parts under the bulletin any longer. It's all standard warranty. So there's where, some of the confusion comes in as to really looking at those serial numbers and knowing what it qualifies for. Like sometimes we'll get I think people like to see what the oldest unit that they can call in is. And here's one that's a 1996. So there's a 1996 unit, a 58 MXA, which did qualify for the bulletin. And it shows you here that it did, but it doesn't any longer because it's not within 20 years. So if that was the original homeowner, they could have coverage on those heat exchangers, but there's no labor, no additional parts. It's only the heat exchangers. And there's the perfect opportunity. Well, they don't have any options to even for the new unit. So they don't have any options. Not now it's up to the 2003 units that have options to change them out.
Hey, Sandy.
Yes.
There's a question if you could go over the fourth option, the trade-in allowance. Do
Okay,
you have that bulletin teed up where you could just kind of walk through it? You know,
that is
since we
not
have
a
time?
bullet. The fourth option, the gas trade-in allowance, is not a bulletin. It is a marketing plan. So it's not done on Service Bench. It is done on Carrier Incentives or Bryant Promotions. So what it is it says that if, and when somebody calls in here and asks us, we do say, you know, we will be glad to tell them what qualifies. So if you call in here and you've got a 2005 unit that falls within this, what that is they can, if it's a Carrier unit, that it's the Performance Series, if they put in the 59 TP6, they would get a rebate of $700. If it is the Infinity Series, the 59 TN6, they get an $800 instant rebate. And if it's the 59 MN7, they get a $900 one. So what happens is you charge your customer for that unit. You charge them for labor, you charge them for the unit, and then you show them a line item that they get $700, $800, or $900 off of there, depending on which unit they got. And then you file for your instant rebate on carrierincentives.com or bryantpromotions.com. And that's where you go get your $700, $800, or $900 back. So it's a marketing program that came out years ago.
And I will mention that, I mean, your TM or the warranty team can send you that specific bulletin, Kevin.
There's
It
no
shows-
bulletin, Brian.
I'm sorry,
There's no
the-
bulletin.
the
No bulletin.
Flyer, there's a flyer.
Yeah, there's something in sales. Yeah, we don't have it, but yeah.
Melanie has the flyer.
Right,
So
yes.
If you want to give us your email on the, or reach out to your TM, we'll make sure you get that flyer.
Yes. It is filed differently because it's done, like I said, it's done as a rebate.
Yeah, it's like, just like you do Cool Cash and other stuff.
Okay.
There's also a question, can you go over option 3 again, or, you know, at least step through what it entails?
Okay. And that you're talking about the bulletin we call the buy-in. So it's called SMB 190022. It's called a buy-in. And depending on the model that failed, so let's just say it was one of these that I just pulled up. Let's see, what did I do? A 58 MXA. And you call in here and your unit is a 58 MXA and it falls within 15 years. It's a 2009 unit, so it's within 15 years and it's a 58 MXA. You're on the Carrier side, you would be able to change that out to a 59 SC5 or a 59 SP5. That's the specific unit, and the specific units are on the bulletin. Let me pull that bulletin here real quick.
So you can get them a new plain Jane 95% furnace.
On this particular bulletin, this is the specific unit that you have. So a 58 MXA, you have to change it out with this one or this one.
Yeah, and we don't stock the SP5.
Okay. So you have to change it out with this one. If you do not, it does not qualify under this bulletin. That is the one you have to do it with. Now, if you are a Bryant dealer and you go out and you're at and you find a Carrier, you know, you're in Indianapolis and you're a Carrier dealer and you find a Bryant unit out there that somebody has you service that needs changed out, you can do the same tier. So if you're at a Bryant house that has a 340A and you're a Carrier dealer, this is the only change that you can do off of that. You would have to put the same tier in and you can change it out underneath that. So then what happens is,
that's a great example.
So what happens then is you charge your customer for labor, service materials, but you charge them $800 for the unit. Now you bought the unit from us for $850. No, I just say $5,000, whatever you bought the unit from us for, you go file your claim, you get your $2,000 back, and then we bill you $800. But you bill that customer $800. But it's for a specific unit that you have. If you have this one, you've got to change it out with this one. And that's what we were talking about. If this is what I was kind of alluding to a while ago. So say you were on the high end, the MVC, and we didn't have any 59 MN7s. Can you put a 59 TN6? Not without somebody telling you that's okay. Even though you downgraded, that bulletin works that way. But our TSAs, they can, find out that that's okay for you to do. And then once we know that, once the claim goes through, we'll send it to them. We get our authorization, we get the claim through. And these also require the inspection form attached to the claim. But it's a tier
which no one scrutinizes.
No. Well, there is some. You have to sign them. You have to put your homeowner information. It has to match, or they send it back.
Yes.
There's certain things. But like what I was saying earlier is, say it says, what's the CO2 read? I think it says, what's the CO2 reading on there? If your furnace is not running, you don't have a CO2 level. You just put no answer. It's not, it's not something you have to try to come up with. Here are the only two approved pain units, PG92E and a PG96B. But that's how that works.
Hey, Melanie, have we discussed what our plans are to get this recording, to make this recording available? There was a question that came up about the recording.
We'll have this available on our communications, monthly communications, or parts and supplies, contractor letters, as well as our marketing update. And then we'll follow up. We will email. We have all of your emails addresses. So we're going to follow up and email everyone out this presentation along with the other documents that we talked about.
Is this my best side? Did you get my best side?
Yes, for sure.
Any other questions?
Let's see, I might have one more. Oh, I think that was it. So far, no other questions. I mean, we're at the end. So if you do have anything that you were waiting until to see if Sandy was going to cover it, we're basically done with the prepared material. So if you've got any quick questions, let's put them in there. Good. One more is coming.
Mm-hmm.
You got hit before you got to ask the question. There we go. So I think that was a joke. We can put a Goodman in. SMB 024A parts only. Did you say this will cover the baffles, etc. also?
No, it covers the, well, there is it does say on there that it will cover a cold spot baffle on that bulletin. I've not seen anybody buy those in so long that I didn't even mention that, but it says failure required replacement of secondary heat exchanger and the following related parts: coupling box kits, cold spot baffle, and cell inlet and outlet panels. That's what the bulletin covers. So yes, it does cover a spot baffle.
All right.
Sometimes people try to file burners, things like that. It does not cover burners.
Is Sandy still okay with telling me a dozen more times on the phone after she's explained it here? And the answer is yes. She loves it. In fact, she's like the Maytag repairman. Sometimes she sits at home wondering who's going to call her, and she's bored to tears. So please keep Sandy engaged by calling her repeatedly.
I want to know who that was.
I'm not gonna tell because their claims might not get, I'm gonna get rid of it right now.
No,
Claims are
absolutely.
denied.
Yeah, denied. Absolutely. And on that, I just want to say, please call us. We know it's a lot, and it is a lot. I've told you a lot of things, and you know, they came out with a lot of options in order to satisfy our customers out there. And there's several dealers, it's like that pick one and stick with it. So they know what they're telling somebody, and maybe they stick with the gas trade-in, but then if it's a hard sale and it's within 15 years, they might do the 800. You know, it's up to you guys what you want to sell. It's not one over the other. It's what's easiest for you in order to, you know, make your sale go through. Because I think the secret is getting those units out of there. So.
If you've got them out there within this qualified range, and you know there's a issue, the inspection report will push it through and away you go.
The worst part is if somebody gets out of the range and nothing's covered anymore, you know, and then that's the worst. So
kudos from Myra McCormick, who said Sandy has helped us a lot too. She does an amazing job. Thank you. So
you're welcome. Thank you. We appreciate your business.
It's getting time for her annual review. Not that I'm over that. We'll make sure her boss sees that.
Yeah, send that to my boss, Brian.
Well, if there's no other questions, this recording will be available as Melanie stated. I know a couple people asked for the bulletin, so I made a note of that. And obviously you can reach out to the warranty team or any of us. We are here to help. So,
and I thought I changed it on the slide, but just always send everything that you need to the KAC-warranty email box. I usually work that, but if I'm not here, we want to get you taken care of. I will work out of that a lot quicker than I work out of my own email, because those are our customers that are out on rooftops and things like that. So we work that in our phone queue all the time before sometimes I get to my own, and sending it to me directly sometimes takes longer than it would for me to get it out of the warranty email box. And I'm glad to help anybody. We all are, but that's where we do our work the best from. That's the best way to get a hold of us.
We will send the link to this recording, which we'll stop here in a second, to everybody that registered for this training. So even folks that registered but weren't able to sit in will still get that link, right, Melanie?
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
There you go, Darren. Okay, well then without further ado, thanks for everybody attending. Thank you to Melanie for setting it up, and Sandy for being our star. And like I said, it's going to get cold, so let's go replace some furnaces under this bulletin. All right. See y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.